Hi everyone, and welcome to the 75th Status Town Hall on the 10th of May 2021. Thanks everyone for joining, and to our lovely presenters who are going to give us a great update today. First up, we are going to, I'm actually going to give you an update from the People Ops team. So recently we have signed up to More Happy, which is a fantastic one-to-one coaching service, which all contributors will have access to. This will give you access to two 45-minute coaching sessions per month, and you are able to choose between self, work, relationships, parenting, and purpose. It's 100% confidential, and it's such a fantastic tool. So we hope that you all make use of it. We would love to hear your feedback. We're currently on a 2-month trial. So any feedback you have, please do let us know. What you talk about in your sessions is 100% confidential, but we would love to hear whether it's useful, whether you're finding it interesting, and whether it's actually helping you. More information is obviously on Discuss, and I think we've been sharing information on the People Ops channel as well. If you do need anything else, please ping either Steph or myself, and we'd be more than happy to give you some more information about More Happy. A little just side note, anyone based in the US or Canada, unfortunately, is not available at this present time. We are working with More Happy on June or July. We are able to get you on those coaching sessions as well. So more information to follow there. And then we just wanted to give a bit of an update on some anniversaries. So congratulations to Jacob for hitting your 3-year anniversary at Status, which was on the 23rd of April. And to Alec, who just hit your 1-year anniversary last week on the 4th of May. So thank you both so much for everything that you are doing for Status, and keep up the amazing work. New contributors. We've got 4 new contributors over the last couple of weeks. So please welcome Boris. So Boris is a senior QML UI developer in the desktop team. So please welcome Boris. We've got Abube, who had just joined last week as a protocol engineer. He's going to be based in Oscar's team, and we're really excited that you've joined us, and we're really looking forward to what you're going to bring to the team. Nick's actually just joined today. In fact, he's actually not. So he'll be online later. He's going to be our new social media manager, based in the marketing team. So please welcome Nick. And last but not least is Serhan, and Serhan has joined the security team as an engineer, and he started today as well. So please all welcome Serhan. We're so excited to have you all on board. So thank you so much for joining Status, and we hope you enjoy this ride. And please do shout if you have any questions or you need some more information or point of contact. We're always there for you. So welcome aboard. And that's it from me. So I'm now going to pass over to Carly on the legal side, who will give you an update from legal. Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, Terry. Good morning. Hi, I'm Carly Howard. I'm the in-house legal consultant for Status, and I just wanted to hop on quickly to give you a couple updates. First of all, our legal team is hiring, and we're working through that process now to find someone to assist with our legal operations, specifically in the blockchain space. And I thought it was interesting to share this on the town hall because in just a short time of having this position posted, we were overwhelmed with the number of candidates who were interested, including quite a few unicorn applicants, applicants that had absolutely every qualification that we were looking for. And I think this is really significant for the legal industry. The feedback we're getting from candidates is that they're interested in working fully remote. They're interested in working for a decentralized company. And this is not something that is traditionally found in the legal industry. So I think it's really cool that even in traditionally non-blockchain sectors, we're starting to see a move toward remote work and the way that Status is doing things. People are really excited about Status as a company, the the structure and also the products that we're building. And also, we have launched our status app terms of service. So please take a look at those. You can either Google status app terms of service or click on the link that you see on your screen. We hope that these are the most privacy-forward, user-friendly terms of service in the industry. And we've gathered together the thoughts of bright minds in the tech industry and in decentralized organizations. We've gotten weigh-in from all different teams on the status project to make sure that these are the most the most cutting edge terms of service possible, and that they support our users' rights. So please take a look at those, give us some feedback. We will be posting the new privacy policy soon. And as you know, there are some other messaging apps in the industry that are not so privacy friendly or user forward. So we're hoping that that our terms of service and privacy policy really do make a positive change in the industry. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Callie. Wonderful to hear that we've got some fantastic candidates applying for your role. Hopefully we'll get somebody on board soon to support you, but that's fantastic news. Next up, we're going to hear from Andrea from the mobile team. So over to you.
Hi, Terry. Thank you very much. So last week we were working on 1.13 release, which has been released last week on both stores, and we are still in the process of releasing it onto F-Droid. Next, we were working on Anonymous Matrix. That's basically all the work has been done, just the finishing touches, and we're probably going to go live with this on 1.14, likely. We continue to work on community, so we're entering now phase 2. Phase 1 is basically complete. There's still a few things outstanding, but we're working on it. We are also working on pin messages, and we've been working, as always, on performance improvements. So the next release is going to be 1.14. Probably it's going to come in 3 weeks to a month, as always. You can check on Status React for all the tasks that are going to be included in the release. We're going to keep on working on communities. We're going to continue with pin messages. We're going to keep working on performance improvements. Community is going to be the focus of the bulk of our work for probably the next months. And that's that from mobile. Thank you very much, Terry.
Thanks, Andrea. That was really useful. Thank you. Next up, we're going to hear from Yuri on the desktop team. Over to you, Yuri.
All right, so on desktop, we did last week's beta 9 release. There's also recently, thanks to Jacob, we know I have a code signing on Windows, which hopefully should stop some warnings for some people they were getting. There's lots and lots of UI and UX improvements and fixes, and we continue to do so and try to get it more close to the design. GoWoku has been developed and for the purpose of integrating with Status Go is more or less done. We don't need to test it more in the real world, but it's a very good state. Obviously, a lot of works in the communities and continues to be done in communities. We also started this component library, and that's a separate repo at which you can find its status queue. I should have put there the URL. But the idea is that we are doing our QML library separately with the design system as done by Simon, so we can more easily scale and do changes in the design that affect everything in one go, which should reduce a lot of UI issues we have been having. And we also have done work on the pinned messages and planned release beta 10 probably today or so. Let's see, but it's likely this week. And then next up, we'll continue with the phase 2 task for communities. I think we've already done the drag and drop the images to communities. One we're going to tackle next, it's very likely the categories. We'll continue component library. We're doing this docs for developers and users. and as well as then there's the macOS notarization that hopefully will be ready soon. That's it.
Thank you very much, Yuri. Next up, we're going to hear from Alec from the Growth and Retention team. So over to you, Alec, for your lovely graphs and stats.
Thank you, Terry. Let's start by looking at how we are doing in terms of app installs. And this is exactly what's being shown on this chart. Almost 60,000 app installs per week is how many we have been getting this year. And this results in over 1 million new app installs this year. One app install does not equal to one new user. As a matter of fact, on average, we get 1.1 app install per user. That's why we need the next slide to show us how are we growing in terms of users. And so we can see around 53,000 new users per week got us over 950,000 new users this year. Please note that those are only Google Play users, so the actual number is slightly higher by 1 or 2%. The inflow of new users makes our general user base to grow, and this is exactly what we'll see on the next slide. Since January, we have almost doubled the number of users with the app installed, reaching 500,000 last week. So this is how many people have Status app installed on one of their devices. The next slide will show us how many of them are active. So every day there are 12 to 13,000 active users, and it's been this way since the second week of February. So nothing new here. Let's take a look at the next slide. Over 11% of that 500,000 users I mentioned earlier come from Brazil. And Brazilian users seem to like our app because they account for over 15% of daily active users. We see something similar for Colombia. So almost 11% of the same 500,000 users come from Colombia, and Colombian users account for over 11% of daily active users. According to Google Play, we are present on 193 markets right now. So let's see the summary on the next slide. Where are we in terms of growth? Over 1 million app installs, or 8,300 app installs per day, 950,000 new users this year, and over 12,000 daily active users, which gives us 500,000 people with the Status app installed in general. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Alec. That was really useful and lots of great information there. Next up, we're going to hear from Jacob on the infrastructure side. So over to you. Thank you.
Hey, people. So as Yuri, not Luri, said, we now have desktop Windows signing, so we shouldn't be getting any weird warnings, at least for releases, because if you're installing any kind of development build from a PR, you'll probably get some warnings because we are actually signing those with a self-signed certificate for security reasons. So only releases will have a proper signing process. This actually isn't in the slide, but we also have a release process for desktop that is essentially the same as mobile and has worked in the past release, so probably are going to keep it. We have some improvements to the Windows CI hosts because the builds have been a bit slow. Although I'm seeing some GCC internal compiler errors, so I might actually switch the type of instance again. In CI, we also have some refactoring for Status Go and general improvements for both releases and QA. Like, for example, artifact file names now include PR numbers, and release file names also much nicer, which makes GitHub releases faster. We're doing a lot of cleaning up in terms of metrics in Cassandra because there was a big spike in number of samples we were collecting like a month ago, and most of those were garbage, so we had to clean it up. I'm fighting with Cortex a lot. There's a lot of fine-tuning to make it work properly on a larger scale. I might actually try to get someone from Grafana Labs to maybe help me out with this because it's a bit tricky. I'm doing a lot of research on improving our security. Right now, I'm focusing on how we handle our secrets. And this includes Jenkins secrets. For example, recently I spread out secrets into separate folders to kind of limit any possible impact if any of the jobs was accessible from outside, which it shouldn't, but just in case, we compartmentalized that a bit. We have some more work on Cortex and caching done with new uncached instance. And there's a lot of new documentation, specifically documentation for on-call, because Arthur is joining our on-call rotation right now, and we have a document essentially outlining the different services we have and their importance based on like the scale of the impacts, for example, depending on whether they were online or just degraded, and so on. We refreshed the billing setup for our multiple services, and that work is still ongoing since we are switching how billing is done for most of the cloud services. And we also have a new host for Nimbus nodes for Steckel Testnet, which is part of the Readiness project related to the merge. We have a new, really cool functionality from Nimbus, I think 1.2.1, which is Web3 fallbacks. So you can actually provide multiple URLs for syncing with F1 nodes, which makes it a bit more reliable. So if anyone is running a beacon node for F1, a validator, then you definitely want to try to have Web3 fallback. And we also have a new data center coming in, which is Arthur is working on that. And we also already have Consul and metrics hosts for that, and soon we'll probably start working on migrating some of the Nimbus fleets into Hetzner to essentially limit costs of the testnet fleets, which are quite big and quite expensive. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. That was awesome. Next up, we're going to hear from Johnny from marketing. So over to you, Johnny.
Thanks, Terry. So we continue our work in Latin America, and we've identified Instagram. I mean, we started Instagram channel about a year ago, but we've seen success in Latin America just because the channel is so ingrained in the culture down there. So Eduardo, Juan David, and Alan are creating localized Instagram channels, and we're going to test that out with various PPC campaigns and Instagram lives. And Eduardo's even hosting some live sessions with various influencers and people in the community, and we've seen some success, so we're going to continue that. In South Korea, we've got a partnership with a local media agency called DSpread, and they're going to be helping us out with press releases, media, and influencer outreach. We had a previous trial period with them, and it was quite successful, so we're going to continue that. Alec is working on an updated PPC approach, and we're going to be working on highly targeted CPC-based ads and really targeting various users just to try and increase retention a bit. Previously, we had a pretty wide scope, and we're going to target a bit more and see how that goes. We're going to be creating landing pages for more complete user journeys and try and just prep users before they get into the app itself, and then also direct people into specific channels. And then really just ahead of the community's launch, we want to optimize, we're going to be having regular reporting, and we want to optimize as much as we can, just so when we do launch the feature, we can have optimized ads and increase retention. As always, Alec is running reports. Highly suggest people join those bi-weekly metrics calls on Friday. They're quite interesting and give us good insights into what's working and what's not. And as Terry mentioned, Nick is starting today and is taking over social media, so excited about that. And then ahead of the community's rollout, we've got like a strawman brief created. We're going to be finalizing that this week, and then working closely with Simona and the team. We're taking a 3-phased approach. First phase is quite grassroots, trying to just own the conversation around crypto social itself and prime people for what we're going to be launching. Phase 2 will be a bit of a soft launch, getting it into beta testers' hands and getting feedback that way. And then finally, we'll have our big global launch of the feature itself, and we're still finalizing what that looks like, but a lot of interesting and exciting stuff we can do. And then lastly, just on the right, you can see we still are featured in press. Our PR team's working well to get us as much coverage as possible. We're in Benzinga, which is more of a mainstream outlet, and then continue to be featured in media outlets in Brazil and Argentina, and you can see in the bottom, and that continues. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Johnny. That was really interesting. So thanks for those updates. Next up, we are going to get an update from Simona from Communities. Over to you, Simona.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. So following on from the updates from Andrea and also Yuri, the Communities feature, we have completed phase 1, which is currently being tested by the Communities team in Site Status, and also our awesome Status Punks, which is a grassroots group of very loyal and very engaged Status fans. And what we'll be doing through that is obviously identifying any bugs, fixing them, and making sure that we are where we want to be, but also phase 2 has already started the build, so it's not like we're losing any time in the progress to delivering this super important feature that will create a lot of value for Status. We're also lining up a lot of community creator interviews, so it's very much this whole Communities feature we wanted to be built with the crypto community, with the Ethereum community, and making sure that we get as much valuable feedback as possible so that we ensure that everything that we ship has that very important value and usability for a lot of different communities. Local engagement on the ground in terms of community. So again, like Johnny mentioned, our focus and a lot of growth is happening in LATAM for us. We've had a series of workshops, a series of meetups, including Ethereum Lima and the first ever meetup of Ethereum Puerto Rico. We have been supporting those efforts, and obviously Status is that gateway for a lot of people into the crypto world. And so we continue to have very interesting engagements and localized efforts. For Brazil, key cards are now officially being sold via a partner influencer. They are proving really popular. We had Jared do an interview with a Brazilian influencer. So again, a lot of interest from Brazil, as Alec detailed in the stats. And of course, as Johnny mentioned, we are having that real pull on Instagram, which is great because we're going to obviously continue doing that. Event-wise, we have the creators and communities this Friday. We are a community and communication partner for this event, so we co-created it, which is great. We are back in the hackathon circuit with 0x Hack. Again, this is all around the crypto social. We've got 10K in prizes across 3 different bounties, very much focused on communities, very much focused on crypto social, reimagining social. So a lot of interest actually already. We have, I think, already 3 submissions to work on some of the bounties, and the hackathon hasn't even started yet. So there's a link there so you can have a look. And then we also have Frank doing a Waku workshop, and we're going to do a communities talk again around how we are envisaging and how we are going to transform crypto social and everything that comes with it. ECC is back on track for July for an IRL event, which is great because we are very much, and ever since the plans kind of got set and then delayed a little bit and so on, we are, again, a community and communication partner for ECC this year. By the time it happens, so that will be July, we are hoping to be in a very good place for a beta version of community so that we can start doing a few localized engagements around the event, and again, get that very valuable feedback from great people within the Ethereum space, and also kind of discover all the different ways in which people naturally use the feature. And then if we go to the next slide, please. And in terms of ambassadors, here are some stats. We've continued our meetups and webinars across India, Turkey, Tanzania, Philippines, and Uganda. India is actually really cropping up as a key area for us. So we're looking at potentially more localized engagements there as well to make sure that that growth is sustained and obviously recurring users. We've had technical contributions as well as tutorials, memes, blog posts, which is again great to see, and people discovering status and writing about it is wonderful for us to keep seeing and growing. We've had 20 ambassador applications. We've got 2 new ambassadors, and also added Polish as a new language for translations. And then we are focusing on QA for Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese, and Korean. So very exciting stuff. I think we will only see involvements increase as the community's feature advances, and as, again, we are moving towards redefining crypto social. And that's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much for that update, Simona. Thank you everyone for tuning in. That's all we've got for today, but we look forward to giving you more updates next month on the 7th of June. And like any time, if you've got any questions, please do fire them through. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in, and thank you to all our presenters today. Have a great week. Bye.